Well. Big Phil here tonight. I am taking over for in quotation marks, a special edition of All in All United. No fixtures played this week, but based on the hype that was going around with regards to Cristiano Ronaldo looking to expose the happenings of his life off the pitch and on the pitch. A lot of fans across the world, a lot of news media outlets picked it up and they were like, you know what, we must tune in to the most controversial Arsenal fan that I've seen in the last probably 15 to 20 years, known as Piers Morgan. Right? Now, yesterday, 3 o'clock my time in Toronto, probably 4 o'clock you guys' time, there was an hour interview between Piers Morgan and Cristiano Ronaldo. Right? Now, leading up to this interview is almost like a movie. You get a few snippets, you get a few trailers of what is about to come. A lot of people are excited, right? Now, that's how I will start today's podcast. People were excited for this interview as to see what Cristiano Ronaldo will say, right? Now, let's welcome the panel. We got Jody, we got JP, and we got Caveman. How are you guys doing?
Good.
Good, man.
Perfect. That's what I like.
And I'm good. I'm hydrated and ready to chat.
That's good. That's what I like to hear. Now,
Very important message: people drink the water always.
It's true, and that's one of the things CR. That's one of the things CR does, right? No coke, always water, right? Now, if you guys saw the last podcast for All in All United, we touched maybe a little bit on Cristiano Ronaldo, right? But we're gonna do a full segment tonight on CR, right? Now, the first part, which took place yesterday, was for an hour, and then the next part took place today, which was for an hour again. I will let the panel talk first because I got things to say, but I will let the panel talk first. I can start with you, JP.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me how you felt about this two-part interview between Cristiano Ronaldo and Piers Morgan. What were you expecting? And after you saw the two-part interview, how did you feel?
I was expecting some big revelations with the little snippets that they were given in terms of him feeling betrayed and feeling disrespected by Ten Hag. So I was expecting to get some proper stories as to where this accusation is coming from. And then looking at yesterday, it was also more on the personal side with him. I was like, all right, okay, maybe they're easing us into it for today. Not too long ago, because I came home late today, so not too long I finished look at the second part, and I'm still waiting for the big reveal. I'm still waiting to see and hear what his actual problems at the club are, because the infrastructural part, we all knew about it. We all know about the poor structure, but I think it's fair to say that as fans, we're seeing at least a turnaround with the team, with the new manager that we have. So to me, the interview came across as a player not wanting to accept his role and where he is in his career and feeling as if he deserves more respect than anybody because of who he is. That's what I got from the entire thing.
Yeah, like I said, I will share my sentiments, but I could go to you, Caveman. Same question. What were you expecting from the interview, and how did you feel after watching the interview?
I think I went into the interview pretty open-minded. I had minimal expectations. So going into that, I think Pierce did a good job in marketing the interview, but I thought it was pretty interviewish. There wasn't much discourse. It was anticlimactic. But you know what? I mean, I know I don't have many discussions on this panel, but in private, I do have a lot of discussion around not just football but sports. And if it's one
Yeah.
thing that I am for is athletes speaking their side of the story, don't matter the profession. It's been very one-sided for too long. Um, you get the journalists putting their piece, people from the clubs or whatever they represent, leaking information to the press, and very seldom the athlete, professional athlete, is at the brunt of a lot of unnecessary, unjust criticism. So with Ronaldo speaking his side of the story, we got to understand a lot of things, a lot more things, and I'm not one to really cast judgment on anyone's character. And I came out of that interview. After the interview, it's not going to make me look at Ronaldo or Ten Hag or I do have some question marks on the club, but it's not going to make me look at Ronaldo or Ten Hag any less. I think he shared his side. We've been pretty much briefed from the club side through whoever they correspond, whoever the journalists correspond through. Um, so yeah, I actually almost feel embarrassed as a fan because we have such a herd mentality as fans to jump on the bandwagons and jump on any bit of information we get from journalists, and we come to a conclusion so quickly. I judge a person's character without even understanding or hearing their side of the story. And like I said, man, I'm for athletes, footballers speaking out their side of the story. And hey, I love the chaos. So may this train continue. May this train pick up and may it continue. Um, you even saw Lingard release his thing today. I know it's going to be as hot as this. You have the Podmentary. I haven't watched the Podmentary as yet, but I'm all for athletes speaking their part of the story. Helps you understand them better and where they stand, and um, it quells a lot of stuff that is being unjustly said about them and confirms some stuff too.
True. Yeah, I'm definitely about athletes speaking their mind, and like you said, it's been a bit one-sided for God knows how long when it comes to journalists just at the forefront, and then some media outlets saying a couple of things, right? Talk to me, Jody, with regards to I think you being the biggest Cristiano Ronaldo fan that we know. With regards to the two parts interview. I think most people were hyped about it, but then some people had a different reaction after the interview. So talk to me.
Yeah, well, the hype on the interview is like a movie trailer. They take
Right.
out all the good snippets from it and just put it on a trailer and send it out there. Because really and truly, when you look at the interview, the main highlights of it was the snippets on them.
Correct.
It's just, yeah. As commenter Ronaldo, as I say, he's a Ronaldo fan. And there's always three sides of a story. To have your side, my side, and then
True.
the other side. Right?
True.
So Ronaldo came out with his side. He came out with his side. Now people will criticize him for his opinion on the coach. Some people say, oh, you're not supposed to call out the coach like that. You understand? But that's between he and Ten Hag. Like, apparently, like them butting heads behind closed doors, and Ronaldo, like, he just can't take it. So he decided to come out and talk about it. The interview, it was just he giving his opinion on everything that been going on with him from since the death of his child to present. Basically give his side of the story, how everything playing off. Is just for we to wait to see how the club, Ten Hag and them going and respond to it.
Yeah. I definitely agree with what everybody has said so far. Go through these two little comments from Simeon before I give my thoughts. Welcome, Simeon. Ronaldo and his feelings. He feels a type of way, little else. And he says, the man hurt. And I agree, definitely, because Ronaldo is hurt. Now, I I myself think that this this interview was kind of a smoke screen. And by smoke screen, I mean Ronaldo hasn't been performing up to Ronaldo standards for probably the last 6 months, right? Ronaldo, as we all know, we know Ronaldo as probably the GOAT, the best player of all time, right? But he's not been performing up to Ronaldo standards. I think he has like what one goal or 2 goals this season. I think, yeah.
Three.
It's three goals. Okay, 3 goals, right? Now, with regards to this interview, I think that for us as fans, the timing seems off. But I think from a Ronaldo and a Piers Morgan point of view, it couldn't have been timed any better because it's right before the World Cup. It's right before the January transfer window, right? So from a Piers Morgan and a Ronaldo and maybe their advisors' point of view, it seems like the perfect timing, right? For me as a fan, just seeing a young Garnacho win us against Fulham 2-1 had all of us happy. But then Ronaldo had to come out and make it about him again, right? Now, don't get me wrong. I am all about athletes speaking up and saying their side of the story, right? But in my opinion, what I got from this 2-part interview is, 2 things. I think that Ronaldo can't take criticism. 1, and 2, I think Ronaldo loves it when the spotlight is on him, right?
Mhm.
And a third thing, right? I've seen Piers Morgan interview many famous people over the last probably 5 to 10 years, right? I've seen him interview Andrew Tate. I've seen him interview Kanye West, and those are just recently, right? And his way of interviewing them was more of grilling and being this hard hitting person to just grill them because that's what the audience wants, right? The interview between Kanye West and Andrew Tate is totally different from the interview that and his persona and his attitude towards Cristiano Ronaldo today because that's his friend, right?
Mhm.
It's almost like Piers Morgan was massaging Ronaldo's ego. It's like every 5 questions was like massaging his ego, and then maybe one question that the football world would want to hear, right? Um, yeah, I will. I'll talk more, but let's drop a few points of the interview that I found that were snippets, and I think that had everybody excited. Just gonna go for this one comment here from Vibhab Samagda. Thanks for coming. He says, "Hey man, loving the stream so far. Got to drop a sub and a like for that. Call me Vibe. Perfect. I love it. Thank you, Vibe. Don't forget to share the content as well. Any sharing is caring, right? Now, back to this whole Ronaldo Piers Morgan interview. There are a couple of points that Ronaldo dropped that were snippets that Piers Morgan dropped on his Twitter that had everybody like, whoa, right? I guess the top 3 for me are, the club disrespecting him with regards to his daughter being in the hospital, and that's why he couldn't go to preseason. That's 1. 2, Eric Ten Hag. He said disrespected him. And 3, him, calling out the likes of Wayne Rooney and also Gary Neville, saying that they're not friends per se, right?
Hmm.
Now, with regards to those 3 points, let's start in the middle point. The middle point is Eric Ten Hag has disrespected Ronaldo, according to CR, right? And some things around that disrespect were, For example, him not coming on. Sorry, when we got demolished by Manchester City, right? Not bringing on Ronaldo saw as disrespect and as an excuse. And by excuse, I mean Ten Hag not bringing on Ronaldo. Ten Hag then said that, out of respect for Ronaldo, he's not going to bring him on because it doesn't make sense bringing him on when we're like 4 goals down and it's like the 85th minute or some shit like that, right? So let's talk on that, guys. Let's talk on that. I can start with you, Jody. With regards to Ronaldo saying that Ten Hag has disrespected him, what are your thoughts on that per se?
I think it goes going both ways. It going both ways because just as how Ronaldo could come out and say Ten Hag only saying certain things to the press, but it's not the truth. It's the same thing I could say about Ronaldo right now. You coming out and saying certain things to the press, but it don't have to be the truth. That is your truth, but it's not the truth. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So when commented that disrespecting, well, he came out and he apologized. He said, in his interview, everyone saw the interview. He said, from walking off on the preseason game, he regretted it. He said he sort of regretted it. He apologized. And then he came back and do it against Spurs. And he said when he sit down and think about it, he regretted it again. You understand? But from his words, he said Ten Hag provoking him. Which to a point I could understand, right? To a point I could understand. Yeah, to a point I could understand where he's saying Ten Hag provoking him, and it really seems that way when you actually start to look at the track record of it now. Based on his accomplishments and what he have done for the sport. To me, I feel he right to a point. To a point, I will agree with him, but then still, at the end of the day, Ten Hag is like your boss. You understand? So you have to show him some level of respect at the end of the day.
I got pass this on to you, Kev, man, because I don't see how Ten Hag has disrespected Ronaldo. I get where Jody's coming from, and I mean being at that level and achieving so much accolades and having almost 500 million people follow you feel some type of way, right? Do you agree with Ronaldo's statements that Ten Hag has disrespected him?
I wouldn't say I agree. I would say I understand where he was coming from. At the same time, because how I see Ten Hag as a very principled manager, and he's going to stick to his principles at all costs because that's how he has made a success, and he's not going to change for anyone despite disregarding despite the reputation. And I think it's a clash of two principled guys, and something has to give. Because Ronaldo also is very principled, and he said it in his interview. He has his morals, and he's going to stick to them, and he doesn't think he's that type of player that you want to bring him on for 3 minutes. Fair play to him. Because if you stop thinking that high of your ability, you might as well call it quits on your career. Zlatan isn't still 40, 41 and still playing because he thinks less of himself. He got to maintain that confidence. And you know what? I've been saying in private, there's no way that you could go from scoring 24 goals at a 16% conversion rate, and then you come this season and you score 3 goals and at a 6 or 4% conversion rate. There's something going on in the background. That is usually a sign of something there's some drama going on in the background. And I think there are a lot of moving pieces when it comes to pinpointing that. And this is an opinion that you won't hear many fans say, but what I see from a profession that I'm training in, what I see, it can come across like a person that's in a vulnerable state because of the grief that he's experiencing. Grief is a game changer, and he had a massive loss this year when he spoke about that. And until you experience grief of that magnitude, you will never understand what a person is going through. So if Ronaldo think that he deserves to be playing, and he's just featuring in bit pieces of games, he can think that the manager is against him, when in reality, the manager is just trying to ease him in. Ronaldo is a person that's going to be antsy when he's not playing. He's going to be anxious when he's not playing. And
I let me interrupt you there. I could play a little devil's advocate. It's not something I want to do, but I could play a little devil's advocate, right? Mm-hmm. And you did mention until you experience something of that level of magnitude, you won't understand where a player is coming from. I understand a little bit where Ronaldo's coming from, right? But I don't think the fans and the journalists do, and I'll tell you why. When Ronaldo steps onto the pitch and misses all of these chances that are given to him, or we send a through ball to him and he's taking so long to get to the ball and another defender out sprints him, or he tries all these dribbles and he gives away the ball. No fan is saying when Ronaldo gives away the ball or Ronaldo misses the chance, they're like,
that he's
all right, cool. Then his daughter passed away a couple months ago, so he can slide. Fans are cursing him, and fans are saying that he should be sold, right? So I get where you're coming from, Caveman, but in the moment where Ronaldo is on the pitch trying to get us to win this game, and he's giving away the ball, or he's being bullied off and out sprinted, or he's missing easy chances, right? Fans aren't thinking that, right? You can continue now.
Yeah, and you can ask any professional athlete will tell you that once drama is going on in the background, you can be off a step, you could be off balance, you could be off your game in so many different ways. But like you said, the end result is not producing, and that's a fair assessment. He's not producing, but why is he not producing? Because he got stuff going on in the background, and it comes to a point where things can coexist, and that's exactly what's happening. So that's why when I wouldn't be harsh on Ronaldo, I'm hope he gets it figured out, or hopes he leaves, something like that. It's gonna come because something has to give. Ten Hag being principal, Ronaldo being principal, something has to give. But it boils down, the man is not happy at the club, and that's I think that message was pretty clear during this interview. There was something else I wanted to say.
Are you
I think that's pretty much.
You gather your thoughts, and I can go over to JP.
Yeah.
JP, talk to me. Tell me what you think of what Jody said, what Caveman said.
Oh, right. Before I continue, right? I think what I wanted to say was recently Rashford gave an interview and he said that, last season he wasn't in the right headspace. And look at how bad Rashford was last season.
Yeah.
And I'm a Rashford fan, but I can tell you he was in a bad place last season. Look at Martial. We see players, when things aren't going good for you, injuries can happen, bad form can happen, and the biggest sign for it is when there's a drastic drop off. When there's a massive drop off, not when it's a gradual drop off, when there's a massive drop off, something is going on in the background. And I'm saying this not to defend Ronaldo. I'm saying this because people need to understand it and realize that these people are human, and because they're making millions, it doesn't absolve them from being human.
Just to add one thing to what Caveman saying there, and he did say that his headspace not there, his motivation, he not motivated.
He's not motivated, yeah.
Understand? Yeah, go ahead, JP.
Yeah, JP, talk to me about you think that Ronaldo saying that Ten Hag disrespected him is something you agree with, or you can follow what Caveman or Jody said as well too.
Yeah, I think it started in preseason. I think that's where the whole escalation and the drama started with his daughter not being well. I mean,
Mhm.
I remember always telling Riemann, I mentioned it on a few podcasts too, where I always felt like this loss that he suffered is something that will be affecting him. And mentally, I keep saying it has to be something mental with Ronaldo. It can't be this man move from scoring goals like this to just missing sitters and like just not being like being off. He was just off. So I always felt like that, and that is something that is affecting his game. So the way he perceived, and I will use the word perceive, the way the club treated him in terms of because when you listen to him, he feel like if they didn't believe him. There was nothing conclusive to say, well, they said X, Y, and Z, so therefore they treated it as if I was lying. He didn't say
Right.
anything conclusive. And that's what I didn't like with the interview. It was still too vague. There was
Yeah.
nothing like concrete in what he was saying to back how he felt. So it was almost like a perception. I feel like they didn't believe me when I told them my daughter was sick. And that came from the rumors that were coming out that he just didn't want to come and he just didn't want to train. So when you add that to Ten Hag being the type of coach, you don't train with my team for preseason. You can't just walk into my squad. You can't just say, well, I am Cristiano Ronaldo and I fit I need a preseason. Start me. Because no, I had a trio up front that was working for me in preseason and I want to see how that going and I will ease you into the squad. So again, I feel his perception where he felt like, well, I am Ronaldo. I don't need to ease into a team. I scored 24 goals in for this team last season, so I should just walk in and start in this 11. I don't care the manager change. I am Ronaldo. So again,
Mm.
it's his perception that he saw it as disrespect from Ten Hag. Ten Hag said
No,
he
but
didn't bring him
JP,
on again.
but
Yeah,
in the interview, he did say that how he understand he did not do a preseason and he needed to
but he also said in
work
the
his.
interview, later on, I didn't need preseason. He also said that to Piers after that
He
I didn't
also
need
said,
preseason. Yeah. So it's like I was saying he wasn't very conclusive and concrete in his direction that he was taking us. So I feel that is where he perceived this disrespect from Ten Hag from. Again, there may be actual things that happened, but he did not say anything to convince me that Ten Hag disrespected him. Because I find like I saw Ronaldo get enough chances this season, but he has been off. And as Phil said earlier, I think it felt like a smooth screen for his poor form. And I think he needs to acknowledge as a human being that he is a human being as much as he is saying it. Acknowledge it and realize that the situation with your family, the personal issue, it is affecting you more than he probably realizes for himself.
He did
Because it
acknowledge it in
feels
the
like he
interview
is
about him
passing.
being human.
He acknowledged it. Yeah,
Yeah,
he said that, and that's what I said. He acknowledged it, but it's almost like if he not accepting it.
but it
Because
hard.
I feel like he not realizing that as a human being, the situation affecting him, and it seems like he deflecting from his personal situation affecting him, and it's almost like if the people are wrong him, causing him more problems. It's not like he taking it from, well, I am going through something, and because of this that I am going through, it is affecting my game. Like how Rashford came out and said it. It's almost like I am going through this, and the club didn't understand, and Ten Hag disrespect me, and they didn't change the pool and the sauna, and the cook is the same person. Like it's almost like everything else are wrong him. So
Nah, I
I
think that the different issues. I think the different issues because remember last year at the interview. But then again, now let me not interrupt. You continue.
but
yeah,
here's the thing. This interview showed, I guess, the humble side of CR and then the real CR, if that makes sense, right? Things like,
yeah,
I left the club in 2009, and there's some facilities that are still the same, like the gym and the chef and all that, right? And
That's a
that kind
damn
of like,
shame, yeah.
yeah, that, but
yeah.
yeah.
That's a shame.
Now here's the thing. I think there's a part of the interview where CR also says that Manchester United have not moved forward it's Real Madrid and the Juventuses of this world, right? That's something I can definitely agree with, right? But the
Yeah.
even mention Man City, Chelsea, Arsenal, even mention all of them.
Yeah.
No, here is where it kind of gets interesting, right? Because don't get me wrong, there are parts of this interview where CR is humble and you do feel for the guy, right? But
Of
then,
course, especially first one.
But then, like, do you think like former teammates Wayne Rooney and Gary Neville deserve the, I don't want to call it criticism, but did they deserve to be called out in this interview by Ronaldo?
Here's the thing.
Yes.
We never, especially. All right, go ahead. Go ahead, Jody. Go ahead, Jody.
Because not because someone in media they have the right or the opportunity where they could criticize anyone they want and don't expect to get back criticism in return. You understand? So by them criticizing Ronaldo, it is only fear he come back out and lash at them, because as Cave was saying earlier on, you really do get athletes speaking out now. And like Ronaldo.
But Jody,
yeah, go ahead.
You ever hear Rooney talk about Ronaldo appearance?
No, well,
and that's the thing. I was going to get that because I never heard Wayne Rooney talk bad about CR. Wayne Rooney considers Cristiano Ronaldo as his top two players that's in the world.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but for Ronaldo playing at Manchester United, right? And to that point, I understand when Rooney said, "Oh, they should move on from Ronaldo because they're trying to rebuild and whatever, right? And they should sell Ronaldo." At the end of the day, Ronaldo was performing. He was scoring the goals. He was doing what, let me put it as, they hire him to do.
True.
So to me, I find Rooney was out of place. To a point, yes, I understand you're rebuilding, but Ronaldo's contract is only 2 years. His contract is only 2 years, so after this year, Ronaldo would have moved on. So failing to get lashback at and Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher, you understand? To me, my opinion is if you want to choke the fire, you gotta be able to take the heat.
It seems like you can't support Ronaldo or you can't criticize Ronaldo, because if you support Ronaldo, you're going to be called a fanboy. You're going to be called a CR7 D writer. But then if you criticize Ronaldo, then Ronaldo will come and expose you and say you're a Ronaldo hater, right? So you can't. It don't matter what side you're on, you're going to get backlash, right? Okay, now you want to say something with regards to Rooney and Gary Neville with regards to what Ronaldo said about them?
In regards to Neville has been heavily critical of Ronaldo, and he helped energize the narrative that Ronaldo is at fault for the downfall of the team from last season, etc. No, here's the thing: if Gary Neville had that same energy of criticism towards Ollie, I could have said, well, it's fair. He gives it to everybody. But Neville danced around critiquing Ollie on so many occasions. Even when he was backed into corners, Neville danced around it. So to see him switch from, that having that attitude with Ollie to then switch to Ronaldo, I'm wondering, like, okay, this seemed personal. What's up with it?
Well,
it's questionable.
He played with both of them, though.
Huh? And that's the thing. That's why I'm questioning it. Like, what happened? Like, how come you're so gentle with Ollie? Not direct with Ollie, but with Ronaldo you're direct, and I don't know if it's a little bro, big bro thing. I don't know what it is, but it was questionable.
They're not friends, and when Neville talk about Ronaldo, Neville get more views. I was on YouTube yesterday, and there's there's a 18-minute video of Neville reacting to
Yeah,
the interview. So
I
of
saw
course
that.
he'll
Yeah,
get more views. Like the more he speaks about Ronaldo, the more views he'll get. So that's not his friend, so you don't care for the friendship.
And you see, that's why I can't. That's why I'm losing. I shouldn't say. I wouldn't say respect, but I'm losing. A lot of these journalists are losing their relevancy because they're not consistent. Um,
Yeah.
it doesn't feel consistent or fair. And Rooney, in terms of Rooney, hey man, listen man. If one of my teammates was to talk about me like that, I'll say, hey man, let's meet somewhere. Let's meet somewhere. Let's meet somewhere. But I to be honest, I don't know all of what Rooney said about him. I know Rooney spoke on him last season when Ronaldo lashed out and say he's probably jealous. I know Rooney spoke on him. Well, he spoke on him last season twice and probably this season once. But Rooney's not a pundit. He's not someone that is articulate enough to draw my attention. So I never paid much attention to what Rooney says. So I honestly don't have an opinion on what could have triggered Ronaldo to
Well,
respond like that to
well,
Rooney.
exactly. You know, hit the nail on the head, as they say, because you if you want to say criticize once, twice, you come 3 times. The third time was probably the final show where you say, well, when Rooney stepping out of bounds
Because these
now,
are guys that play with him. They
yeah,
could if they got an issue. Because if a teammate got an issue, you ring them up. Ex
yeah.
teammate got an issue, you ring them up. Like, hey
And
man,
he
was
said it. He
everything
started
okay?
just last month. He was across by him and he picked up his son to go and play football with his
Yeah,
son.
it was true.
You understand?
Yeah.
Right. So that means they
So
do
that
have
just say
the
like he reached like because of the frustration what's going on with him right now. Yeah, remember
and then the extra
he will
criticism.
literally everything was bottled up inside. So now everybody whoever say what about him or whatever
yeah.
will just
We're
just
seeing
lash
Ronaldo
out.
the human
Yeah,
because everybody has a breaking
the
point,
point
and I think
exactly.
we're
And
seeing
True.
Ronaldo the human right now
exactly.
because
No,
True.
as
I could play devil's advocate again because at the end of the day, Rooney and Gary Neville are given microphones at Sky Sport to talk, so they got to say what's on their mind. But what I'm hearing from you guys is that it's
they're
best
not
to
consistent with it.
call or talk to Ronaldo privately instead of airing him out on Sky Sports. But for some reason, if you don't talk about Ronaldo on Sky Sports like Gary Neville is doing, Gary Neville really isn't doing his job. Yes or no?
True.
Yeah, well, come on. 500 million followers on Instagram.
Yeah.
Let's talk about
So
it.
the thing is, right? Is the thing with Ronaldo is always one side or the other. Because when you look at Rio Ferdinand and Roy Keane, you're looking
Yeah.
at them as the ultimate defenders of Ronaldo. But then you have on the other side where the people who talking out against him is like if they hate
But
him.
you know what? I
So
don't even
it,
think
it's
Roy Key was defending him. Roy Key was
on
speaking from a place of, this is how I see it. It wasn't a defense. It was like, understand it this way. And Roy Keane was accurate. 'Cause a lot of things that Roy Keane was speaking, I heard Ronaldo reiterating that. It makes me wonder if Roy Keane has some inside information. Hold on, guys. I'll
yeah.
be right back.
All right.
Let me go through some comments before we continue this conversation. The conversation going well so far.
Yeah.
Anderson is saying Man United Man United have been lost for a number of years, and Ten Hag is trying to put the ship back on course. I understand CR7 feelings, but I don't understand why he can't see the new manager trying to build something and he needs everyone on board. Fair point there, Andrew. Fair point.
Yeah.
Is coming again. Ten Hag in the beginning said the results are his responsibility. He ain't going to blame anybody else for the team's misfortunes. He's not going to wait for Ronaldo or give Ronaldo extra say when it's his responsibility and job on the line. Siobhan R.D. Bonio, thanks for joining, man. I'm assuming you mean George Mendes. So yeah, George Mendes spent his entire career trying to find CR a new team, but he feels disrespected. I'm trying to deep this comment here. George Mendes spent his entire
Spent his
summer
entire stomach trying
Yeah,
to
he
find.
spent the entire
Yeah.
summer trying to find our next club for CR7, but yet
But you know
Yeah.
what?
feeling disrespected.
Oh, but then he laughed. He put a laugh in the
Yeah,
movie.
yeah,
He
that
put a
guy,
laugh in the movie.
yeah.
Yeah. Before you land cave, let me go to these last two comments.
Before he lied. I can take off yet, man.
Yeah. Addison is saying any real United fan knows Neville is not credible and fair. True.
Sometimes he
Yeah.
is. Sometimes he is. I can go and say that he isn't all the time, but sometimes he is. But he's not
Juan
consistent. That we can agree on.
Reem has landed. He should be on the show hosting, but he got me. Reem, from the interview, one can conclude Ronaldo's definition of friendships equal support me whether I'm doing shaving cream or not. If you criticize me and I don't care, it's constructive criticism equals you are my enemy.
Mhm.
Come on, there's a limit to constructive criticism because Gary Neville saying, they should rip out his contract tomorrow, get him out when he doesn't know the full details of everything that's going on is very short-sighted and is not giving fairness to the whole context of the situation.
It's just not the contract alone they want to rip up. They don't rip down.
But let me ask.
No,
one question.
I meant when he walked off in the Tottenham
Isn't
game.
Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher just doing their job?
Yeah, that is what they are for. That is what they are there for
So hey, if you want to get smoked, you gotta be open to getting it back too.
Well, that is what I'm telling you.
Yeah.
If you want to choke the fire, you must be able. Remember when you choke fire on it, you must be able to take the heat that coming back at it. Yeah, understand?
Yeah, but nobody don't want to listen to any pundit who just want to agree with everybody and not dig into players. Would anybody tune into this podcast if we just here being all happy puppy? No. We come here and we do the same things.
That's the nature. That's the nature of the game. We don't do the same thing. Listen, I'm trying to be different, so maybe I'm gonna be the boring one. I'm gonna be the one that try to be as balanced as possible.
That's my thing. Right? So.
And I think you have to have balance on it. So you would have the person who is like the mediator in the whole thing, but then you'll have the controversial ones and he makes who speak in the mind and laying it out there. So I mean, and those are the people who they get more appearances, they have more shows, and appear on more programs. So that they have to survive after football. So I guess we clearly saw that coaching wasn't for Neville.
So JP could be the controversial one on this panel then.
But definitely with Ronaldo.
I could switch it like that, be very controversial.
Definitely with Ronaldo,
yeah. People saying, Ronaldo feel bigger than the club. Really, actually, if you sit down and analyze it, Ronaldo is almost big as Manchester United.
On a popularity contest, I mean the numbers speak for itself.
Yeah.
You don't just get 500 million people following you for
but based on his investments and thing, right? Let me say within the next 15 years, Ronaldo could buy Manchester United if he wanted to. If it's up for sale, based on his endorsement, within the next 15 years, he could buy Manchester United. So when people ball in, he's not bigger than the club. I understand from the football point of view where it's coming from. But really and truly, Ronaldo big just as Manchester United.
And that's that whole point, Jody, is why I think he could have handled things a lot better. The things that you in the club and you don't like, being that type of player, I feel like he could have more influence to try and enforce change.
All right. Let me put it like this.
Who?
Right?
Ronaldo?
Let me put it like this, right? When you on top, and literally on top of the mountain for the past 17 years, nobody never counsel you or nobody never think about counseling these fellas like Messi, Ronaldo, them fellas who was on top. When all they started to climb down that mountain on the other side, how to handle it, nobody never counsel them. You understand?
Yeah.
So it's obvious right now, Ronaldo tumbling, coming down, and he don't know how to stop that tumbling right now. You understand? And about it, everybody will come out to criticize him and say,
Jordan Peterson, if you're listening, try and help out the man.
But exactly nobody, and Ian Wright said it.
Yeah, Ian Wright
the
said it.
show. Yeah, you
Yeah.
understand? He needs somebody to actually counsel him on how to handle on the football aspect of his life. This decline that he's going through right now. Which
Alright,
Mental
is
health in sports is very valid.
I find I gotta switch it up a bit from former players to current players because y'all three starting to agree and y'all getting boring and this may lose views, right? Now, based on the clips that we saw leading up to these two interviews, some of them were Piers Morgan, but some of them were coming out of the Portugal national camp in the dress room where Cristiano Ronaldo was approaching one Bruno Fernandes, or I think it was Bruno Fernandes approaching Ronaldo. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Bruno came in. He came in the locker room.
He came in.
The way how Bruno approached Ronaldo versus how he approached Rafael Leao after 2 seconds is totally night and day. Bruno kind of did not acknowledge Ronaldo. Then you fast forward to Joe Cancelo on the training field where Ronaldo was trying to not make friends, but trying to just greet Joe Cancelo, and Joe Cancelo was not having any of it. Now we know how that looked to us and the entire world, and I want you three guys to talk about that.
Right.
Yeah.
I would take it for
Ting quelled it already though. I mean, it got quelled already because when you see, you want to take it first?
I taken it first because again.
Go ahead.
I picked here.
You got Lady Ronaldo fan take it first.
Yes, I picked here. Right, I'll tell you I'm going to be controversial. I picked here or a video with no songs. Tells 1,000 words. And after Portugal game, they interviewed Bruno Fernandes concerning it. Right?
Not Fernandes. Wasn't it Martin? Wasn't it
It was another.
shoot,
It was
wasn't it
another
Martino?
teammate.
No.
It was another one. I forget who it is.
Jody,
Sorry, Jody. Go ahead, Jody.
I don't care about the interview. I want to know how you felt when you saw that video.
Well, because it did not have the song in it, right? Yes, it looked like that. But the video come out with the sound in it now. And Bruno Fernandes tell the reporters and them, all go and look at the video now. Don't come with that video without the song and pass on the judgment. Go and look at the video with the song and you'll realize it was a joke they was making.
What Cancelo?
With that?
What about Joe Cancelo on the training pitch?
Based on the video I saw, right? I don't know if I don't know. It looked like Cancelo.
He was pulling Cancelo and Cancelo just wasn't having any of it.
No. Before he pulled Cancelo,
You got a chance Phil trying to get a Sky Sports spot.
Yeah.
No, but
He's drilling Jody.
I just telling Jody what I saw and how I interpreted it.
Right. So before he went to Cancelo, when he was walking up to him, he seen Cancelo like I don't know if it's angering up, hyping up. I don't know what it was. You understand? And when he called him out, you were just seeing Cancelo like if he hyping, to me that way it look like. You understand? And then Ronaldo just walk off. So again, I picked it as 1,000 words.
Talk to me, JP. When you saw those two videos, what were you thinking?
Bruno can say what he wanted in the interview after, and he can play what video he wanted. So it's on Bruno's face that he feel that type of way. And he can't tell at them for us not feeling that type of way in that team. Because what Ronaldo do there is unacceptable for the time in that he did it in, being under contract with a club, and Bruno and all these other, and Dalo and they being part of the club where they feel like they're probably seeing progress after being there for a few years and like wondering what going on with his team. For him to come and try and disrupt things like that, they must be feeling that type of way. So
seeing progress,
so even
seeing progress and you're fifth in the table and playing a Europa playoff, like progress.
Come on, nah, Jody, don't do that. Don't do that, Jody. Don't do that. You know we're seeing progress.
You know we're seeing controversial here with all this.
No, you be controversial, but you know we're seeing progress, right? So that's my thing. I felt like I know they will brush this off as something, right?
My problem. Here was my problem with a lot of people now. Ronaldo, they're making Ronaldo to be the downfall of Manchester United team. You understand? When the man
That's not me.
No. When the man on the field and he playing, or they cannot say the man don't give 100% of. Or they cannot say that. Continue.
No, I not fighting that, and I wasn't one that was saying Ronaldo is the problem last season, because again, I'm a Ronaldo fan as well. But his actions recently have me losing respect for Ronaldo, the player and the human, because you're saying you love the fans, but then this way you do here, it wouldn't help the fans, it will hurt the fans. Because you're coming out against our club. Remember, first and foremost, we are fans of Manchester United. So what you're doing here is you're hurting the club. Because
no, you ain't hurting the club. First time somebody actually calling out. Yes, wherever it is between you and Ten Hag, I'll say it again.
Because listen,
right? I ain't agree with that.
If more players were to do interview, right? I want to read on that comment. Because if more players were to do interviews,
exactly,
a lot of them will be just like Ronaldo's. Because Ronaldo is the first person that got problems with this club.
JP, who all want bigger than Ronaldo to call out the club on this shipping is?
Yeah, but then do it in the right way. And Jody, that's what I'm saying. I don't have a problem with him doing it do it in the right way, because of the power. Because of the power Ronaldo have. No, you see, if Ronaldo did it in the right way, it wouldn't be the right way, but in a better way.
Exactly. It is.
No, but you see, bringing down Ten Hag in it, Jody bringing down Ten Hag in it.
That is
no.
Problem. So
that is part of my problem.
No. Listen. So all you're telling me, I working for an establishment, right? And the establishment treating me a certain way. I mustn't come out and talk, dog. Seriously?
But Jody, there's a way. Watch me. No, let me ask you, Jody. If you have a problem on your job, Jody, and you don't address it internally, and you call TV6 News, and you say here, or you call Ian Allen and say, hey, Ian, I have a story for you, but you're coming on your show later, and we'll talk about my job. How that will come across?
Talk to me about this picture here, people.
Let me give you a prime example, right? Plenty people know the real story behind the closure of Petrotrin and I losing my job in 2018, plus 5,000 other workers. You understand? So when we come out and talk, what the government do? They pat it down. Ronaldo come out and talk. Where feel the club going and do? They're going to pat it down. You understand? They're going to make it look like the scapegoat. They're going to make it look bad. Just as how the government made 5,000 Petrotrin workers look bad. So that's just why
it started from Sunday.
You understand?
Talk to me about this picture, Jody. Talk to me about this picture here. Talk to me
about before we get to that picture. What was the question? What was the original question again?
About the videos that surrounded Bruno and Phil.
Oh, right. Everyone answer that question, because when I see both of them videos,
right? This start you putting up is from when? This season?
2022, 2023.
Right, this season, right? And the man clearly come out and say his headspace is not in the right place. Why the Paul Rashford starts from last season? But you're coming
to Jody.
Now?
Jody, it's then, but then
but last year, listen to me, JP. Last year it was not putting up Rashford stats like that. So why
now we will. Them for us real mash up Rashford in this podcast last season,
Yes, we mashed him up. Did you all come and put up stats? But watch where Phil come to pop here.
I should be on the podcast, man. Let me defend my boy Rashi.
No, but Jody, think about it. Remember Ronaldo is coming out against the manager and saying he disrespectful, and so if he for himself, but Jody, but if he for himself could say in the right headspace or whatever, then why should he be expected to start every game?
So JP, Ten Hag could respond to what Ronaldo say now. Ten Hag say nothing. Ronaldo come out and say what he said, right? And he to come out in the media and say Ten Hag will come out and respond and say what he had to say. Is obvious.
He shouldn't say nothing.
Because the media will come at him, and he will have no other choice but to at least how to put it, clear his name then.
Yeah.
Let me answer that the question on videos. Let me get my pitch in. Let me get my pitch in.
Yeah,
Phil,
go
when I saw the
for it.
videos, I too experienced, especially at the time of TikTok, YouTube Shorts, Instagram videos. We have seen a lot of material taken out of context because people shorten it because they want to tell
Yeah.
a story with
True.
this shortened clip.
It's true.
Yeah.
And when I saw those things, I initially set my teeth, get a big, because I ain't gonna read into it because they already know it was shortened for a reason. I was like, I could give us a few days before to see to see the responses, not the responses from people, but to see if someone from within gonna talk about it or they will show more the video. And lo and behold, you saw more context with the video with Ronaldo shaking up Cancelo because he kicked the ball out of anger, like he was upset at something, and you know Ronaldo was probably trying to big brother him, say, hey man, like what's up with all this anger? I don't know. I'm assuming he just big brothering him. I can't Cancelo is like, yeah, I'm having it. But I don't think that has anything to do with Ronaldo and the interview and how he feels towards the interview. That these things happen on training grounds. Even for freaking track and field where they don't got no physical contact. These things happen. With the other Bruno Fernandes video, they came on and they spoke about it. They said Ronaldo asked him something about if he came by boat because
Okay.
he was one of the last ones to reach. You don't read into them
What's
things.
going on in this video here?
I heard the Go Rugby competition coming out this weekend, so
But somehow I feel this interview
or
take place.
Old Trafford hosting a rugby competition or something like that this weekend. So I don't
What you
know.
mean? Somehow
It
I
is
feel
what it
this
is.
interview took place. This interview took place before Ten Hag didn't make Ronaldo captain for the. That would have been what game that was. He didn't play the Villa.
Yeah, boy.
No,
No, because it would have come up in the interview. It would have come up
Nah.
in the interview. You understand? So
that sound
somehow I
like
feel that,
to me.
And you know what? That's one thing I would say. I feel bad for Ten Hag because you can, even if something was going on between Ten Hag and Ronaldo, you can see Ten Hag was trying
trying.
to
Yeah.
the point where you know
JP, that is what I'm saying. That is Ronaldo and Ten Hag clashing. Ten Hag
No,
showing
that's why I
Icy
said it.
Boss.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ten Hag showing Icy Boss and Ronaldo showing the best player in the world. You understand? So
And that's why I say sometimes Ronaldo he kind of had to know his place. He kind of had to know his place. As much as he is Ronaldo, he still have to know his place.
I was telling you, it's 17 years you're on top there. You feel you going on bow.
No, I understand that.
A man who went
No, but it's not about bowing in it.
at
It's
the
not
end of
about
the day,
bowing in
it's
it.
still up
It's about respect.
to the manager. It's still, you know, it's like I said, something had to give. Both men sticking to the principles and something had to give.
As he said, because it all started with when his daughter was sick and like they didn't want to believe him the club, and it's obvious they would probably pass it on to Ten Hag that probably Ronaldo line or whatever, and like everything start.
The comment from earlier that he posted about Ten Hag, no, Mendes shopping around. I just remembered because I be trying to put the, huh?
I was going to bring it up.
I'll be trying to put the pieces together, you know, try to gather as much information instead of jumping to conclusions. So from this interview, like you could tell was something happened in that interview that that Ronaldo didn't like. Something happened because was it Monday? Yeah, Monday. The Athletic. No, if it's one thing learning the past year, whatever the Athletic briefed, whatever the journalist from the Athletic brief on Ronaldo, you got to take it with a grain of salt because whoever is with the Manchester United that's corresponding, that's giving the information to the Athletic, I can tell that person does not like Ronaldo.
No.
I could tell that person does not like Ronaldo for the whole year. All you can get in brief, Ronaldo at fault for this. Ronaldo caused Ollie to rip at his plans. Well, you trying to say Ollie don't have a spine then, indirectly. So I never really bought too much into them things. But anyways, moving forward to what we point that I'm trying to get at. the person that briefed the Athletic said that Ronaldo, that Mendes had a meeting with the board, and after the
Mhm.
meeting, they thought that it went well, and within 30 minutes, I doubt it was 30 minutes, but anyways, within 30 minutes, that's when the news broke that Ronaldo Ronaldo wants to leave Manchester United. That's when Duncan Castles broke it. They
Yeah.
said it started they said it started in Portugal, but Duncan Castles was the one that broke it, and he's not Portuguese. Um, so something went down in that interview that Ronaldo was not satisfied about, and I think it has something to do with you know the lack of empathy, like Ronaldo pointed out, the lack of empathy towards why he's missing. Like y'all doubting me that I'm missing, y'all doubting that I'm missing preseason for family issues. Something went down that interview. We don't know the details. And you know when we can know the details? Probably in 10 years, when you got a Figo late interview and everybody got to sit down and share their side of the story and give
Netflix.
more details.
Netflix.
Hey, Netflix, what this you ready?
So
Netflix ready.
what you think? What you saying, caveman, is that I think part of the interview that Ronaldo gave is that the executives, the senior executives, and the board did not respect or believe Ronaldo was in the hospital of his daughter, and that's why he missed preseason. That's where you're alluding to, right?
Yeah, because I think two things could exist at the time. Ronaldo was staying at home because primarily to support his family, which is fair. You cannot discredit this the value. You cannot do any of that stuff when you got such a important issue.
Yeah.
At the same time, whatever happened at that meeting trigger Ronaldo to tell Mendes, get me out of here. Get me out of here.
Yeah, because
So
it had some truth. It had some truth to behind that because Ferguson is a big Sir Alex Ferguson is a big part of Manchester United. And if it is he endorsed Ronaldo to go and do this interview, it had to have some truth to behind that. It had to have some truth.
I could go through some comments here, and again, we could talk about the very last question I have for you guys, right? But this has been really good so far. Simon is saying nobody find it frustrating that Ronaldo sat on all this info on the failings of the club unbothered till his form dipped and he ready to leave. So Simeon probably
Ronaldo
saying
hinted at it last year in that interview last year. He hinted that he know the issues.
What Simeon trying to say is that Ronaldo was informed last season. Why not do the interview last season, right? But I can continue this comment. Ronaldo don't care about the club the same way other past players ignore the rot. Fair enough. Simeon is saying we were calling for Rashford bench rightfully. Some of we was right. David Curtin, thanks for joining. But he's saying Ronaldo being unprofessional shouldn't influence Ten Hag to be unprofessional. Right? Simeon is also saying why we should want to play someone who is admittedly not ready to play. He has a point there. Get them a psychiatrist, maybe, but this is sports. You play to, and I think I was alluding to that earlier in this stream where I was playing devil's advocate saying, yes, Ronaldo is going through some bereavement, obviously, in his family, right? But
and it's up to him to seek the outside help.
Exactly. But when Ronaldo steps on the pitch and he's missing all these chances, fans aren't
results matter.
Okay. Fans aren't saying Ronaldo missed that because of the passing of his daughter or his daughter against it. The fans are not saying that. I don't want to sound like an asshole, but fans literally in that moment don't care about that. They care about winning, right?
You can't take one fans because when Ronaldo missed, Rashford would have scored that. When Rashford missed, Martial would have scored that. When Martial missed, Ronaldo would have scored that. You really can't take one there because, come on, we all know the chances Ronaldo get this season so far. Last season, he was burying that behind the net. So,
no,
But I think Ronaldo said it best though. Like if he feels like someone said Ronaldo is feels some sort of way. You're right. That's valid. But he said that too. If he feels appreciated, if he feels if he's in the right headspace, once he's happy, he gonna be back to himself, and that's fair because that's for all players, for
But
most
watch
players.
the Cave is clearly
Mm.
three-quarter of dressing room the war Ronaldo. Because he only called out about how much? 3 of them on the interview yesterday, who he think.
You think
So
think
clearly,
three-quarter-
the rest of the
three-quarters,
dressing
Jody?
room don't want it.
You think 3/4? I honestly, you think
I
3/4?
don't think it's so much.
I
I don't think it's so much,
Jody.
man.
I can be blunt with you right now. I could call
Yeah.
it name who I think Ronaldo.
You think it's the English wins?
Harry Maguire is definitely one for sure.
Yeah.
Harry Maguire wants Ronaldo. I got feelings for it.
I think all the English-based players on
Jesus Lord, they say no the men against us. So
but Caveman Jody has a point. Jody has a point.
You want me tell you why I feel?
I can't defend it. I can't defend it.
The Portuguese-speaking players, in my opinion, plus Varane want Ronaldo there, plus Garnacho wants Ronaldo there.
Right.
Yeah.
Because and if you go back and you watch certain games where Rashford play with Ronaldo, right? Yes, they're playing. When they're on the field, they're playing. Yes, they're linking up, whatever. But when Rashford score, you see a totally different celebration to when Ronaldo score. And it's like that from since last season now. You understand? So, for me, Rashford, Shaw, Maguire, all them English around one, but all the English-based players, like, them clearly do want Ronaldo at the club. And I could understand, for whatever reason, you understand, everybody entitled to their opinion.
But I don't understand Rashford, though, because Rashford always said that that's his idol. So I couldn't understand. Yeah.
But JP, something going on behind.
No, I know, definitely. Yeah.
I tell you, yeah. And Ronaldo come and he just choked the fire. He come out and he started talking and say, wait, because how it is, he only call out Martinez, Dalot, and Casemiro from a 26 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, I call all the names. I feel he got more respect for it. I think he got more respect for other players there.
I guess they're the obvious. Obviously, he was former teammates with Casemiro.
Yeah.
Well,
but he didn't call Varane like that.
Yeah, he called Varane.
He called Casemiro. He called Dalot as being professional. So
somebody
who was long. The thing is, he didn't.
Martinez.
He didn't really answer Piers' question. That wasn't the question Piers asked him. Piers was asking him about young players coming up. It wasn't specifically at Man United, but he answered at Man United and he said Dalot and Martinez.
JP, be honest with me. Don't, and you guys and Caveman and Jody, be honest with me as well. So don't you think Piers Morgan had a specific agenda for Ronaldo in these two parts?
Yes, and what
you mean? Even
Ronaldo was deflecting plenty of the questions and all, you know. He was kind of.
It feel like an enemy getting information to use for firepower, especially when it comes to attacking our former legends, because he led with a lot of leading questions when asking about Neville, Rooney. He prompted those questions on more than one occasion.
Yeah.
And I thought it was I thought it was manipulative. And you know what? Ronaldo is not someone that fully understands English, and he probably doesn't fully understand that part of the game. Because Piers like to call him a friend, but Piers is just a fanboy. That's not a friend.
Yeah.
Friends hold each other accountable. Friends hold each other accountable. Not once Piers pushed back on anything. Not once.
Thank you.
You know? And I did not like that was a typical interview from a journalist that wants to dictate where he wants this conversation to go. That wasn't someone that wanted discourse where this pushback.
Caveman, I gotta let you land, Jody. But Caveman, Piers Morgan, like I said, has interviewed many top tier.
And I watched them too. I watched Kanye one. I watched Donald Trump. I watched all the biggest ones that Jordan Peterson, all of these guys. He did the same thing with Trump. You know, he fanboys for Trump. He fanboys for Ronaldo. And I guess that's the human side of him, because he's a fanboy. At the end of the day, he's a human. He got fans, and he get the chance to interview them, and he fumbled it, in my opinion.
You know how much journalists would have wrapped this opportunity to interview Cristiano. It just so happened that Cristiano decided to go with Piers Morgan because he boy.
But he knows he knows that Cristiano would not have
I gotta listen to Jody and post the next comment.
Yeah.
CR7 is reaching out for help and it is being ignored. You think so?
I won't call it
He
help.
just don't know how
I
to
think he
answer
uh,
it.
just
He just don't know how to
I
answer it.
think he's just sharing his side of the story because a lot of lies were told. Listen, let's be honest. Last season, Cristiano got blamed for a lot of things that weren't just. Because people thought, well, oh, we scored this amount of goals. Yeah, but we scored those amount of goals because more people were healthy.
Yeah.
yeah.
Rashford was healthy. Cavani was healthy. These guys had a significant drop in their appearances. You got a 36, turning 37-year-old playing every single game in the festive period. Bruh, that makes sense. Nobody to rotate with.
But
And
Come
it's
on,
the same
man.
thing this season.
As Jody said earlier in the podcast, they got three truths. They got the journalist truth, they got CR truth, then they got, I guess you said down the middle, Jody, right? Or something.
Yeah.
Exactly, right? So I mean, should we take what CR? Don't get me wrong. There's stuff that CR has said in these two parts that we already know with regards to the Glazers.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
But there's some parts where do we take it with a pinch of salt, or do we just like make our own assumptions? That's what I gotta ask.
Hey, man, what they doing late is so he twerked for Arsenal at the end of that interview, man.
Yeah,
That's the only
yeah,
part of that, like, but
No,
yeah.
well, watch me as I say. That is PSSC boy. But he did say he would like Manchester United to win the title. And if
That
they
was like
cannot win the
afterthought.
title,
yeah.
he can't say he was City win because
Or
that's the
Liverpool.
rival. Or Liverpool.
Yeah.
So
And
there's
Arsenal is
that-
the one
that-
body
that
side
was-
of the race.
Out of those three poisonous and disgusting clubs,
Arsenal,
Caveman,
Arsenal,
I would rather
Arsenal
him
is
say
the worst.
Yeah.
Arsenal
You
is the
think so? Is
worst.
it worse? You think so?
No, Arsenal is. I mean, not the worst, but Arsenal is the least of the worst.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
I would
Yeah,
rather him
yeah.
consider Liverpool. So I got one question before we wrap this up, and this question may take us till it'll be 9:30 my time, but 10:30 your time, right? So let's use the next 10 minutes to talk about this.
I'll
very
keep it
last
short.
question. No. We got 10 minutes, right? Okay, let's go to this last comment here from Simeon. It's saying Morgan ain't asked no question about Maguire. Oh Lord, about Maguire or locker room last year. What a fanboy asked for interview. True.
Yep.
I forget to do one thing. If you guys are watching and liking the content, don't forget to like and subscribe. Right now, I think this is the question that is on a lot of people's minds. I don't know if people are going to say yes or no. Have we seen the last of Ronaldo now that this interview has aired?
I listened to that Ten Hag part over.
If you could choose to answer this in terms of what would you do if you were the board or if you were Ten Hag with regards to Ronaldo? Would you keep on Ronaldo? Would you sell him? Would you terminate his contract? Would you sue him? Have we seen the last of Cristiano Ronaldo? I think his last game was against Aston Villa where we lost, right? Have we seen the last of Ronaldo? Would you sue Ronaldo? Would you terminate his contract? Will you make him play in the reserves? The floor is open.
You got. We're not a fan. Go ahead.
From a business point of view,
you can answer it from a business point of view, from a fan.
I just showing it from a business point of view. He do some damages to the club, so yeah, they could terminate the contract. You understand? And that would be the end night for Ronaldo and Manchester. Right? From a fan point of view, I still want to see him play for Manchester United. You understand? Because I feel once
you gotta be specific. You gotta say from CR7 fan perspective.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to put it like that, anyhow you want to put it like
a lot of people are going to disagree with you, Joe. You just tell me.
No. Watch me. From as he say a CR7 fan, a fan, whoever I want, because to me I feel if the man in the right headspace, he have plenty to offer to the team, and I telling you, With the right headspace with Ronaldo on top of game, right? When I mean on top of game, you talk about running down the line and thing. I talk about goal scoring wise.
Yeah.
Ronaldo will poison plenty team with the players that we have now, right? And the kind of form that they in. We have been seeing it all season. It's just he wasn't putting away the chances. We'd have been hitting teams all kind of 5 and 6. How much chances he keep throwing away? So that I say, if he in the right headspace, I would like to see him play. If that is up to if he and Ten Hag could, I don't know, sort of whatever problem it is going on between the two of them. You understand? Because I say we get Ronaldo's side of his issues with Ten Hag. We still have to get Ten Hag's side of it, right? Hopefully it will come out. So for me, from a business point of view, if you have that contract, tell Ronaldo go out your business.
I think
As a
I
fan,
think
I would like to see him providing he could get his headspace correct, and he and Ten Hag could sort out the whatever, and let he just finish all the season, and next season let he go where he had to go wherever.
What are your thoughts, JP? Because I think the main point that Jody is stressing is in the right headspace. The floor is yours, JP.
I think Ronaldo was partly out this club from pre-season, so mentally he hasn't been fully at the club. So that's why we're getting what we're getting from him. And I feel doing this interview was him taking a step even further to leave the club. So this interview for me was him forcing some sort of action to take place in terms of him and the club coming to agreement to end this contract. There's no way Ronaldo could come and play for Ten Hag again. The Ten Hag is taking the club in the right direction, and the club is not going to choose Ronaldo over Ten Hag. So I cannot see you going on international, like aliens probably watching this interview right now on outer space. That is how big this was. I can't see this kind of interview taking place, and Ten Hag could go back on a training field or and have to deal with Ronaldo, who say he disrespect him and he don't have respect for him. I can't see it happening. And as a fan of Ronaldo, I'm disappointed, and as a fan of Manchester United, I'm disappointed, and I don't want to see him playing for the club again because I think his timing was poor. I would be fine with this coming out at the end of next season when his contract was up. I'd be fine with this interview at that time. But now, middle of the season, the club is building, we're going in a better direction. You're seeing the results, you're seeing the style of play, you're seeing our philosophy, you're seeing our culture change. So much positives we have been talking about as fans in the last few months.
Yeah.
And one prima donna come out to just try to disrupt everything because he's not getting his way. And I don't appreciate that, so I don't want to see him play for the club again.
Caveman, same question thrown at you with regards to what should or let me rephrase it. Was the Aston Villa game the last game that we will ever see Ronaldo? Or from what Jody said, from a business point of view, what would you do with Ronaldo? From a fan point of view, like, do you think that's Ronaldo's last game for Manchester United?
I honestly don't know because I honestly don't know because if you could take the same, I don't take it personal. There's a way back, but because of the magnitude of this interview, there's no way back. My guy, I think he have kicked his last ball for United, and he pretty much alluded to that, saying, if it comes to that, him parting ways with the club, I think he will be fine with that also because he alluded to it in the second interview. I think like Jody said, from a business standpoint, this hurts the United brand so much.
You think so?
And Yes, because listen, if I'm Garnacho's mentor or parent or anything, I have question marks over, do I want my son to sign a contract with a club that's been stagnant for the past 20 plus years? Because infrastructure wise, with his talent, there'll be better offers for him. There'll be better offers for him. Let's be honest, Manchester United is not the cream of the crop anymore. It's not a top club anymore in terms of standards, infrastructure wise. So people on the outside looking in, when you see Moyes, Van Gaal, Mourinho, Pogba, Raiola, Sanchez, Di Maria, Romero,
Ibrahimovic.
Rojo, Smalling, Zlatan, um, the long list of players, coaches, and agents that have spoken out about the treatment that the club does towards its players, the infrastructure, the a lot of these things, and then the cherry on top, Ronaldo speaking note. That does a
Yeah.
lot of damage. That does a lot of damage to Manchester United, and that's where you will hear a lot of journalists right now outing that fight for Manchester United because hey, that's the name of the game. So I think it's best for both parties to part ways because they have to save face. They have to save face. You cannot allow someone to say such damning stuff, even though it's not that damning. It can be taken as damning because I think that interview was pretty anticlimactic. But people
No,
can sit
here,
down at the
here.
table and discuss. People can sit down at the table and have discussions and come to agreement. But this is not a small club. This is a club that all eyes are on it. So they have to save face and they have to part ways, man.
Keep
Let's
one
just
thing.
part ways.
Keep one thing. All the names are now called, right? All the names are now called out there. Right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
We go just start with what I will just call out one which is Van Gaal, right? Which
Hmm.
he took over David Moyes, right? More or less after
Yeah.
Ferguson. Right? So you check from since then to know how much of them came out and spoke on about the club, right? And everything remained the same.
Everything remain the
Mhm.
same. I'm
So
hoping
that's why
for our sake and for the club's sake, I'm hoping we see something different from Arnold and
change.
Myrtle.
Yes,
But
yes,
Yes.
Ronaldo
the
might move
in-house,
on.
I don't have much
Ronaldo
faith
might
in it
move
because
on.
it was another in-house promotion. It was
But
another in-house promotion.
Ronaldo said it. He said, "Oh, maybe I will be the one who had to damn the
That to
club.
start with. Yeah.
Yeah, to damn the club, to bring it right down for them to start a rebuild.
Because
So when
he exposed it. Like
I kind of leaning on JP's side where I
you
think
can't
under
do the
Eric
bare
Ten
minimum
Hag,
anymore.
I think under Eric Ten Hag I can actually see where the club is going under Eric Ten Hag. I'll leave it at that. I think
no,
there's a
and I
vision.
agree with JP. I agree with JP. Now, if I can recall what I said is that as a fan, I would like to see it, but really and truly, we know that not going to happen.
They cannot get away with doing the bare minimum anymore after this
Yeah,
Ronaldo interview. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
yeah.
They cannot get it.
Yeah.
The club cannot get away with doing the bare minimum anymore. And you know, it's sad that it had to go down this way, but something had to give because the club has been pussyfooting and playing the fans for fools for too long by doing the bare minimum, papering over cracks. These are things that we've been complaining about for so long. We should be
Hmm.
galvanizing and saying, Ronaldo, thanks for your business, thanks for this interview. Go along your business, we got it from here. You should be jumping on the Glazers' back.
Yeah.
I know they're sweating
Yeah.
right now. Cause he name dropped them. I know they're sweating.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's true because as we've mentioned in this stream in this podcast over the last hour and a half, Ronaldo has close to 500 million followers.
Billion.
500 million followers will and out of that 500 million, let's be real. 400,
Even if 10%.
400 million are women. Out of that 400 women, them is tall. Right? So at the end of the day, they may not understand what Glazers mean, but they can want Glazers out as well too. Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, but when
That's
clearly the Glazers, them just don't care, you understand? They just don't care. Them a business if Ronaldo call them out, they just don't care.
They gonna care. They gonna care. No,
They
they're
don't care.
fools.
They don't care. They will care. Yeah.
And you know what?
Nah, watch
Because
me.
because
I telling
because
you,
because
watch me.
even late last year there were talks about Russ in the certain parts of the stadium. And you know what the club was doing? Painting it over. Come
Yeah.
on, man.
Yeah.
You gotta do more.
Yeah.
You gotta do more than
Lazy,
paint it over.
lazy. Let me go through these last three comments before we end the show, because a lot of people don't realize that there will be a part 2 of this same segment on Saturday before the World Cup, right? Because we don't want to mix World Cup with the drama of Ronaldo and Piers and Manchester United, right? Because World Cup
Yeah.
starts this Sunday, and I am looking forward to World Cup, right? Let me go through these last comments for sure. Back to this MLS comment. I have heard rumors that Ronaldo is banned from the US. That's what I was told. I don't know if it's true or not. So I don't know if Ronaldo can
He
play in the
isn't.
US, right? But don't
He
get me wrong.
isn't.
I will look into that. I have been told by many fans, right? I know I take it with a pinch of salt as well, too, right? But don't take my word for it. I will look into that as well. Similar to saying, do you think United will wait till Ronaldo flops in the World Cup first?
Nah.
Nah, they're gonna be
Nah.
working. We gonna probably know what direction they're going either by Friday or Monday, because that's when the stock market it has to collide with the stock market. So probably Monday.
No,
Probably Monday we'll
if
have a
United,
better idea.
no, I don't think United will do this. But if United were, let's say, petty, United will probably announce half an hour before Portugal's first match what they'll do with Ronaldo. That is,
If you know,
as
if
you
you
For
ultimate
real.
know,
petty move.
that's what I cross my
For
mind.
real.
They feel
Playing chess, huh?
You can imagine
Playing
Portugal
chess,
putting up the starting lineup, and then after to see Joe Glazer
breaking
has
news.
decided to breaking news. Joe Glazer has decided to sue Ronaldo, some crap like that.
Nah, watch me, Phil. I don't think it might be the like the group stage. Now they go let our group stage run out and they see where they come out and knock out. Yeah.
That'll be even more.
Rough for that man feathers,
That
man.
run through my mind today. Same. Yeah.
Two more
I see.
comments from Anderson. Ronaldo may, I can say,
Made a lot of good points.
Ronaldo made a lot of good points, but the way he went about it was not the best. And I think most fans can agree with you there, Anderson.
Watch me.
Yeah.
It's never a best. It's never good.
99% of the fans' problem with Ronaldo with this interview, I feel, is
Is it
between
top?
he and Tenor. Otherwise, everything else, they go agree with him then now. But you see that between he and Tenor, whatever it is going on, that is where everybody had a problem. Including myself too,
Yeah.
Including myself. I must,
Yeah.
you know.
I think JP
smart, man.
I think JP said about 10 minutes ago that Ronaldo could have done this interview after his contract was over, right? So
Yeah.
They would not pay him no mind. They would not pay him no mind because it would have come like Mourinho, Ibrahimovic, Van Gaal.
Nah, Ronaldo have the kind of following that you have to listen.
Jody, you are a CR fan. You know,
he will. You see the thing about it. He will not be affiliated with the club anymore. So then, when business about he, if you understand what I'm saying, yes, you have the following, but then when business about he not affiliated with we anymore.
Yeah, but see,
Jody Ronaldo is the most followed human being on the world.
Yes, but what I've seen club-wise,
it's not gonna have the same effect, man. I get what you're saying.
Exactly, it will not, because he's not affiliated with the club. So the Glazers gonna say, but he's not on a contract with we.
You see, the reality is why he wouldn't do it when the contract is up is because he is trying to get out of the contract now. This is not to serve the club. This interview was to serve him.
I think it's more than one. I think it's a combination of things, but that's one of them also. I think it's a combination of things, but that's one of them.
The interview he wanted to do in August, was late August, early September. But I guess he probably was waiting to see if any changes making in the club. And me talking about he and Tenor, we are talking about the other stuff we talk about, and probably he is safe for that 6 months, no changes and make. Like they're moving forward, so on top of whatever frustration he have, he decide, well, you know what? Well, let me just come out and just vent out everything, see what I had to say, who vex, and who.
Man say he about to air this choke, yo.
If it was Piers and Ronaldo and I was petty, I would air this interview right before Argentina first match. for obvious reasons.
Hey,
Two more
but see what
comments.
but see what
Two
I
more
did with
comments.
Messi, you know.
Let me see. Simeon is saying, I think the last time he was here in the US, he picked up a charge. Okay.
Nah,
And
it was
I
the
can
last.
still, I can
The
still look
judge
at
dismissed.
Yeah, I think
The,
I
the
was
judge had
dismissed.
dismissed that rape charge that he was on.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
Dismiss it because big money pay off.
True. And to say, yes, he had a case that was dismissed, but I
that was
don't know what is the end result. Right?
yeah. Once
And
he dismissed, he good, man.
Because,
the
yeah.
last comment. If Ronaldo goes off in the World Cup, there might be a buyer instead of terminating on.
He not going off. Ronaldo doesn't have a good history of scoring in the World Cup. He's not going
Yeah.
off.
It doesn't matter because Brazil win and win it. So it doesn't matter he could reach the final and lost. Simple
True.
as that.
What you say, Fred
Hold
left
on.
in the World Cup?
What you mean? And Fred and Casemiro
Hold
put
on.
on that midfield day.
Fred Anthony.
But today, as much as I want them, I love Brazil too. I want them get it, but like a little piece of my Ronaldo get World Cup, boy. A little piece of my way I'm getting still.
Yeah, watch me. We go talk about World Cup Saturday as Phil said.
Ronaldo, Messi, Neymar,
Yeah.
ended them three.
Yeah.
I cool with, man.
We talking about World Cup. Well, according to Reem wants a part 2 of this here on Saturday.
Yeah,
Saturday,
it's needed.
We go leave it for that.
Right? So yeah, because we have it. We probably tonight touched on maybe 4 points of a 2 already between Cristiano Ronaldo, right? But I would say tonight was the first part, and I really enjoyed it between Jody, Caveman, and JP. People who are tuned in for the last hour and a half. This is what we do. We love United. We breathe United. We bleed United. Okay. Anything that is going to affect our club, this is what we come to talk about, right? JP, Jody, and Caveman, that was just there. I just want to say thank you guys. Yeah, you still there. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much, guys. And I'm looking forward to Saturday when we do a part 2. Big Phil here.
For sure, fellas.
We are out.
Loving you.
It's tough.